Hello everyone. How are you doing today? I hope you are having a blessed day. But I completely understand how upset and frustrated you all are. We have all been waiting months for our third stimulus checks to arrive. At first, we thought we would be getting full $2,000 stimulus checks. Then we soon found out that we were only getting $1,400 stimulus payments. It has been 9 days since the Internal Revenue Service began sending out third stimulus payments to Americans. There is just no excuse for the IRS and Social Security Administration to not have sent out all third stimulus checks by now. I know that most of you received your first and second stimulus check very easily and quickly. Everything went smoothly, but now all of a sudden, the IRS doesn't have our information on file. This is absolutely ridiculous. The IRS was able to send out our first and second stimulus checks perfectly fine. What is up with this third round of stimulus checks? I hate all of this nonsense. It is just so upsetting how Americans that receive SSI, SSDI, VA, railroad retirement, and survivors benefits are being forgotten about. A lot of you are still waiting on your third stimulus check. That is horrible. I know Americans are relying on this $1,400 third stimulus payment to survive. The IRS needs to send these checks out ASAP. I just want all of you to know that your stimulus check is definitely coming your way. It is just a matter of time. I know that it is really difficult to stay patient during these times. When they check the IRS Get My Payment tool, the most common message that is appearing for Americans that receive government benefits is payment status not available. Now this message here is definitely alarming. But if you receive government benefits such as SSDI and VA, don't worry. This message likely means that your payment has not been processed yet. This is when the IRS comes in. Right now, it is up to the IRS to send out checks to eligible Americans as quickly as possible. Also, if that message appears when you check your payment status, that message could mean you are not eligible for the $1,400 payment. It is very unlikely that you are not eligible to receive a third stimulus check. But it is actually a good thing if you notice a different status message than the last time you checked the IRS Get My Payment tool. That means the IRS is trying to send you your third stimulus check. The payments start declining for an individual once adjusted gross income exceeds $75,000 and go to zero once income hits $80,000. The payment starts declining for married couples when income exceeds $150,000 and goes to zero at $160,000. It could also be that the IRS does not have enough information to send you your payment. If you received your second stimulus check and you haven't moved or changed banks, then you should be fine. Don't worry though. More and more batches of stimulus checks will be sent out in the next following weeks, everyone. Your stimulus check will certainly come soon. But I completely understand that you are worried that the IRS might be forgetting about you. Well, the IRS definitely should have noticed that millions of Social Security recipients had not received their checks yet. So far, most of the stimulus payments that have already gone out have arrived via direct deposit. It's easy for the IRS to blast out batches of electronic funds. So many who were eligible for direct deposit have already gotten their money. This means that if you have not received your check yet and your banking information is on file, you may be receiving a paper check in the mail instead of a direct deposit. It is really great that Democratic lawmakers pushed the Social Security Administration to send the IRS information that should clear the way for about 30 million recipients to get their stimulus checks. The SSA is now starting to take action, and lawmakers are still urging the IRS to process that information quickly and not delay payments to older Americans. With lawmakers now urging the IRS to speed up the delivery process for Americans, you should expect to receive your check very soon. There are also many younger recipients who have yet to receive their stimulus cash. The IRS can only issue so many physical payments at a time, so those awaiting a check or debit card may not see their money until April or May. The IRS says it's working hard to get those funds out. But the fact that stimulus payments are going out in the middle of tax season probably isn't helping matters. In fact, the IRS recently delayed the tax filing deadline, moving it from April 15 to May 17. That could buy the agency more time to issue refunds, so it can focus on getting stimulus money out instead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Secretary. Thank you for appearing before the committee to testify on a subject of interest to all Americans. We're a country of many communities with diverse perspectives. However, there is universal recognition that we must invest in infrastructure if we want to continue American strength and prosperity into the 21st century. First, I want to tell you about my own community, the southern part of New Jersey. We are geographically, economically, and demographically a diverse community. We are the hustle and bustle of tourism and gaming. We are the pinelands and the wetlands. We are the Jersey Shore and the Delaware Bay Shore. We have miles of beautiful coastline and we have thousands of acres of farmland, but we have a common identity as South Jerseyans together. Mr. Secretary, our people need better infrastructure. We need investment in roads, bridges, and dams. We need investment in dredging, broadband, and airports. The investments of this bill could make a generational impact on the South Jersey community. I'm sure that everyone else on this committee feels just as strongly about their community's needs. That leads me to the main point I need to make. This bill needs to be an infrastructure package for all Americans. For years, Washington has talked about infrastructure as the end-all and the be-all of bipartisanship. Now it's our opportunity to show that there is still an American dream and that our country can still unite behind it. We cannot approach this bill like we have, quite frankly, earlier bills this year. There needs to be bipartisanship. There needs to be an investment in all American communities. Our country, the United States of America, needs us. They need us to work together. So, Mr. Secretary, does this administration commit to making this an infrastructure package for all Americans?
Yes, that's absolutely the intent of the president and of my department too. We recognize there are so many different kinds of communities with different needs and different characteristics. And we've got to be serving everybody, and everybody will be better off when we get this country the infrastructure it deserves.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. In order to make this an infrastructure package for all Americans, the bill must be bipartisan. If it is not, then the needs of tens of millions of Americans will be ignored in this process, and their problems will be exacerbated. Mr. Secretary, while I understand that ultimately your congressional counterparts act of their own accord, are you committed to the position that this should be negotiated as a bipartisan infrastructure package?
Well, the president strongly prefers a bipartisan approach, and so do I. It's hopefully been reflected, as you've seen in the conversations that the president has hosted with Republican and Democratic members of the House and Senate, and that's going to continue to be the way we want to proceed. We've got to